What is up, you guys? It is Zach coming at you with another video. Now today is my official Nintendo Direct predictions for June of 2024. Usually I put out my Direct predictions the day before Direct comes out, but since we got really good advance notice in this one, I figured I might as well release this one early, so yeah. This predictions video is going to be structured a little bit differently than prediction videos in the past, as all of these predictions are going to be put on my Nintendo Direct bingo board. Now, as you guys know, I usually do a bingo board every year. I'm still kind of putting it together, but figured you guys would get a little sneak peek at a part of the bingo board. And we will be putting this bingo board together when the Direct actually gets announced. We'll be doing it the night before the Direct. So what I'm going to do is I have this Left 4 Dead med pack here. I know it's not really Nintendo fitting, but it's red, it counts. And I've put all of my predictions that I'm going to put on this bingo board in this med kit. I'm going to shake it up real quick, and I'm going to pick from the med kit each of my predictions and kind of go in a random order. Because usually I do kind of more of a structured kind of thing, talking about the most likely, you know, things I really want. Here, it's just all going to be random, picked out of a med pack instead of a hat. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff down below, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I upload videos. And without any further ado, let's get picking. Alright, so the first game I'm going to be talking about is one that apparently has been rumored for a little while that's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that is the Fire Emblem 4 GBA remake. I don't know too much about this remake, about, you know, or even about the original game, but I know I've heard rumblings over the past year or so that this game is meant to be getting the remake treatment, and since Fire Emblem last had a game release, I think like the beginning of last year, it's about time, you know, I think, you know, going by the scale of when Fire Emblems usually get released, about time for another one, I think. So this one is going to be going on the bingo board. Alright, next up is, this game got announced in the Nintendo Direct, I think it was either last February or last June, and that is Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. It's the next entry in the Professor Layton series. Like I said, we got an announcement of it last year, but we haven't seen it since then. I believe it's slated to be released in 2025, so could still be a little early from it, but I don't know, like, I'm not too certain if we're actually even going to get a proper Nintendo Direct towards the end of the year, so I feel like it is very possible to get Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. Alright, next up is a remaster that a lot of people have been asking for from the Nintendo 3DS, and that is Kid Icarus Uprising. A lot of people have really been wanting a new Kid Icarus game, or at least a remaster / remake of Uprising from the 3DS. There's some reasons why people are saying that this might not work just because of the controls of the 3DS, but I feel like if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You know, you'll just have to refine the game a little bit and tinker with the controls. I mean, it's not completely impossible, so I am putting this one on the board as well. Alright, next up is a pretty obvious one. This one has been said by people for quite a while now, and that is The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Obviously, the Wind Waker HD originally came out on the Wii U, and many people have been wanting it on the Nintendo Switch for ages now. And I feel like if there's any time to do it while they're doing the whole remastering, remaking GameCube games treatment, you know, with Metroid Prime and Pac-Man last year, I feel like now is the perfect time to say, hey, Wind Waker HD is coming out on the Switch, and I think it'd be a really highly hyped announcement. Alright, next up is the next games I think should go to the NSO service for the Game Boy Advance, and that is the Mario sports games, being Mario Golf Advance Tour and Mario Tennis Power Tour. These are both RPG-like games, or at least the story modes are, and you can also play as the Mario characters, of course, but they're very unique Mario sports games as they're more single-player focused. I do find them really fun, and you can play with other friends, just you need a link cable to do so with the Game Boy Advance. But to bring it to NSO, you don't need that link cable anymore, so it would be really cool to have these two come over. Alright, next up on the chopping block is a game that I feel like a lot of fans of this particular series have been wanting for a long while, and that is a new Wario Land game. But personally, I couldn't be too bothered about a new Wario Land game. I mean, just another 2D platformer to add to the list of 2D platformers on the Switch, but it is a very unique platformer with its art style and how it controls, and I feel like a lot of people really do miss this series, especially with games like Pizza Tower kind of replicating the gameplay of Wario Land and making people miss it and feel nostalgic for it even more. So either getting a new Wario Land title or even a remake / remaster of one of the old ones, I think is pretty possible. Alright, next up here. This one's kind of an obvious one, the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. This got announced a few weeks ago, or last month, whenever, and they're doing NES World Championships again, and really cool that they're doing a whole compilation of a bunch of NES games and doing different challenges with them. Sucks that there's no online, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, this one I think is kind of an obvious one. Alright, next up we have... oh boy. Alright, Metroid Prime 4. This is a heavily anticipated one. Lots of people want Metroid Prime 4. We've been waiting so long for it, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Metroid Prime series, I feel like the only way that this game is actually going to come out on the original Nintendo Switch and not the successor is if it gets talked about in this Nintendo Direct. So, hopefully Nintendo say something about this game. Alrighty, next up is the second Zelda port that is highly requested, being Twilight Princess HD, another classic GameCube game that would be amazing to have on the Nintendo Switch. And you know, it's a fan favorite Zelda. A lot of people really like this one. It was cross-gen between the GameCube and the Wii, so having it come to the Switch as well would mean that this game would be on 4 consecutive Nintendo consoles, which is pretty freaking crazy if you ask me. But, nevertheless, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, highly requested one, and I think it has a high possibility of showing up here. Alrighty, next up, we have another series that a lot of people seem to want to come back. I'm cautiously optimistic if they do announce it. And that is Mario Superstar Baseball, a new Mario baseball game. If Bandai Namco are in control, I really hope they do a good job with it. I mean, they haven't really done anything in a while, at least Nintendo-wise, developing for Nintendo, so hopefully a new Mario baseball game comes out, and if it does, I really freaking hope it's actually good. Alrighty here. Next up, we have the next N64 game I would like to see come to the surface. I mean, there's some before this I would want, but I feel like this would be the really big announcement that Nintendo kind of needs to push this Nintendo Direct. And that, as I drop it, and that is Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. Being able to play the original Smash Bros. Online, I feel like would be a huge win for Nintendo fans. A lot of people really want this game to come around, and I do feel like Nintendo would hype this one up a lot. So, Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64, I think it's possible, and I kind of hope they do it. Alright, next up, we have... So this series, I feel like it's inevitable we're going to see something from this series in this Nintendo Direct, but the question is what? Well, I am actually going to guess that Kirby is going to get a new game, or I guess a remaster, being Kirby Planet Robobot Remaster. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. This was a 3DS game from back in the day that I do believe was pretty dang popular, so I feel like if Nintendo want to bring another Kirby 2D platformer to the Switch, which I know Return to Dreamland only came out last year, but they could want to do another one. Kirby, they really like their Kirby over at Nintendo, so I wouldn't doubt that they would actually remaster another old Kirby game, and I feel like it would be one of the 3DS ones, and it would be between Triple Deluxe and this one, but Planet Robobot, it's a little more recent. I think it makes a little more sense. Alrighty, next up here we have, not even gonna build up to this one, a new entry in the Donkey Kong series. I'll be honest, I couldn't give 2 hoots about a new entry in the Donkey Kong series. I'm not the biggest Donkey Kong fan, but it is something that fans are clamoring for. They really wanted to see that monkey return with a new game, whether it be a new Donkey Kong Country game or a new 3D title. I mean, I really hope they'd go down the 3D route because, like I said, with Wario Land, I don't think we need more 2D platformers, to be honest, but I digress. Seeing Donkey Kong would be pretty cool. Alrighty, next up, This one, again, I'm not even going to bother trying to introduce this one. New Mario Party. It's been rumored, it's been talked about, everyone's talking about a new Mario Party, and I think it's very possible that we are going to see a new Mario Party in this Direct. I'm very excited if we do, whether or not they do go down the Superstars 2 route, or they do something completely new. I'm very interested either way to see what they end up doing, and I really hope that no matter what route they go down, they show it off and really impress people, because now that we've done the best of Mario Party, and if they are going to go down the route of a new Mario Party, I really feel like they have to win a lot of fans back, so here's to hoping they can do that. Alrighty, next up is, again, another one that needs no introduction. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Again, self-explanatory. This game's coming out this month, and, you know, we need to see more of it. I feel like we're at the point where we really don't need to see too much more unless they're gonna add new stuff to it, which would be kind of weird to announce new features this late in the game. But, I mean, hey, if we get Luigi's Mansion 2 HD footage, you guys know I'll be excited, I'll be analyzing it, I'll be dissecting it. You guys already know me, that's not even a question. So, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is basically a given. Alrighty, what's up next? Okay, this is actually a personal wish one of mine. There's a few that I threw in here. Actually, none of them have shown up yet until this one. Where these ones, I'm not really predicting. These are kind of ones that I want to see. And that's, first one is a Dead Rising collection. Specifically, Dead Risings 1 through 3. We don't talk about 4. Anyways, Dead Rising, for those of you who do not know, is a wacky zombie survival game where you play as either Frank West or Chuck Green or Nick Ramos, whoever, you know, those are all the protagonists, and you kill a bunch of zombies. You make combo weapons, combo vehicles. Well, I think combo vehicles is exclusive to Dead Rising 3, but nevertheless, I love this series. I mean, 4, they really kind of fell off with 4, but 1, 2, and 3 are great games, and I really would love to see them bring it to the Nintendo Switch. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's a port of like, well, not even modern games. 1 and 2 are from the 360, and then 3 is a launch title, I believe, from the Xbox One, or at least a very early Xbox One title. So I feel like it wouldn't be too much graphically for the Nintendo Switch. So I would love to see it. Capcom, please do it. Alrighty, next up we have another one that a lot of fans really want, and that is an F-Zero GX Remaster. Lots of people really want to see F-Zero GX come back, and honestly, I understand why. F-Zero GX is a really fun F-Zero game, and it would be, again, another GameCube game to bring back to modern era. And even if they did things like adding an online mode, like, I literally think bringing back F-Zero GX and adding an additional multiplayer mode would just be so hype. I feel like that would be enough to entice some people to buy this game. So maybe it would be, you know, Nintendo's next step into bring F-Zero back. You know, to start with F-Zero 99. Next step would be remastering one of the old games, and then maybe a new one? That would be interesting. Alrighty, next up, another highly requested one. This one I really don't care too much about because I didn't play this game like a lot of other people did, so for me, I mostly put this in as kind of fan service to the people who want this game, and that's Tomodachi Life. It's a game where your Miis are living, and I don't know, you have them sing, you have them interact with other Miis. It's like The Sims, but with Miis. At least that's kind of what I know about it. Again, I know I didn't play this game like everyone else did, so I don't have the nostalgia. I really could not care less if this game never came back. But, nevertheless, it is one that a lot of people really want, and I feel like it would be a really hype announcement for Nintendo to make. So, Tomodachi Life is a very popular one, so it'd be really cool to see it. Alright, we're getting there, guys. We're getting to the end of the pile. And, this next one's a big one. So this is one that this one's, again, another wishlist one that I know they're not gonna do. But, always worth shooting your shot. And that is the Nintendo GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. Again, self-explanatory. Getting GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online would be awesome. I mean, like, you know, if they started off with, like, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, Pac-Man, Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Party, like, 4, probably. It would be really cool to have those on the service, even though I don't think it's gonna happen, but a man can dream. Alrighty, next up we have another GameCube remaster. As you guys can tell, it's a heavy remaster list because I'm trying to be realistic, so there's a lot of remasters and remakes in here, so hopefully you're okay with that. And it is Metroid Prime 2 Remaster. Now, obviously, there's still a Metroid Prime 3, and I was wondering if they would bundle 2 and 3 together, and they very much could. But, I mean, I don't know. I could still see Nintendo being Nintendo and doing 2 separately from 3 and maybe doing 3 later on. I don't know. But it would be cool to get Metroid Prime 2 on the Nintendo Switch because it does feel weird to have the first game, not the second and third, knowing that the fourth is coming along. Like, just bring all the Metroid Prime titles to the Switch. I don't know what they're waiting for. Just do it. Alright, just pick the free space. So the free space obviously goes in the middle of the board. Alrighty, so the next thing is, this is another wish list item of mine. A classic 3D platformer from back in the day that I know a lot of people really want to see, especially after the first game in the series got the remake treatment for the Nintendo Switch. And that is Pac-Man World 2. If you haven't played Pac-Man World 2, you're missing out. It's a great one. It is better than the original in my opinion. Just the platforming feels tighter, there's more movesets, the worlds are a little more expansive, it's a proper 3D platformer rather than a kind of 2.5D kind of platformer. It's a really good time. I freaking love Pac-Man World 2, and it's heavy on the wish list. Bandai Namco did a poll like maybe a year ago, maybe not even a year ago, asking if fans would want to see Pac-Man World 2 and World 3 as well get the remake treatment. And yes, please, Namco, do it. Alrighty, next up on the list is a game that I'm shocked isn't out on the Nintendo Switch yet, given that the first 2 games in this series got released pretty close to each other, and it's been quite a few months, and the third one isn't there yet, and that is the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. Spooky game about, House of Ashes. Which one is this about? Oh, it's about the Iraq War. You play as a bunch of soldiers who get buried underground, and you have to explore all these caves and get out of the cavern that you find yourself caved in, and it's really, really cool. It is definitely one of the more polished games in the Dark Pictures anthology. I do feel like it feels like it's just the most polished of the 4 that we got so far, in my personal opinion, story-wise and with the characters. But it's a really good one, and I do hope they bring this to the Nintendo Switch sometime soon. It would kind of suck if they didn't. Or maybe they're waiting to bring it to the Switch too. Who knows? Alrighty, we're starting to run low. I think there's only like 1 or 2 left in here. Well, what a freaking penultimate one. Luigi's Mansion HD. I'm still holding out hope. They could easily shadow drop this one in the June Direct, which would be really, really weird, but Nintendo's done weirder stuff, okay? Like, it's Nintendo. I expect no less from them. I mean, I'm mostly just putting this here because I really want it. It's Luigi's Mansion 1. Of course I really want it. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 1 from the 3DS specifically, the 3DS remake. I want them to bring that one to the Nintendo Switch. Again, I know it's not gonna happen, but it's really cool whipping together this Luigi's Mansion HD logo. It looks like it could work, right? But either way, yeah, Luigi's Mansion HD, I would love to see it. Alright, I think we're on our last one here, it looks like. Yeah, we're definitely on our last one. And it's honestly kind of an ironic one to end on because of the choice of bag here. I want Left 4 Dead on the Nintendo Switch. Now hear me out. This isn't as crazy as many people might think. Valve brought Portal to the Nintendo Switch. Now I know Portal isn't a heavy multiplayer game. It's not like Left 4 Dead where you really want to play online. But listen, bring Left 4 Dead to the Nintendo Switch. Have it be cross-play compatible with the Xbox and PC. Or at least the PC, or at least one of them. I don't care which one. Just do it. It's freaking Left 4 Dead. It's fun. There's not many games like it on the Nintendo Switch. So there's World War Z, which is a good one, but Left 4 Dead is the GOAT. It's the classic. We need it. So there you have it, guys. These are all the entries for my Nintendo Direct Bingo. There's 25 things in here total, including the free space. And on the live stream, I will be sticking these to the board. And kind of like today, where I picked them out of the med pack, I'm going to be doing that again and putting them on the board in a random order. So if you want to see that, stay tuned for the live stream whenever it happens. And obviously, we don't know when the Direct's going to happen yet. So subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can know when I'm gonna go live with this live stream. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. What do you think is going to be in this Nintendo Direct, as I nearly dropped them all? Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Until next time, you guys, I'll see you all in the next video.